Every man on the planet's faced a broken heart at least once in their lives. For most men, the pain comes from failed relationships and women who simply just walk out. However, there's a way for men to get women back. And while this is hardly ever recommended, occasionally you simply just have that deep desire to want her back. But the path is not easy, and it might even be just as hard as when you have to accept your fate and move on from a woman. The goal of this video is to arm you with some of the most incredible things you can do to improve yourself. Not only will you become a different person, but you'll find that women who once dumped you now all want you back. But it's important to understand that we understand exactly why women walk away and why they often have so much power when they do walk away. Why women dump seemingly good men. A big question mark often hangs over the minds of men when they get dumped. But when they look at how the relationship progressed, they cannot think of a single thing that made her walk away. In fact, many of these men are the perfect partners, offering up themselves, sacrificing their time, and naturally doing everything a woman expects. But as great as this might sound, it's actually being a good person that leads to women walking away. You see, the female mind is rather confusing, and even though they might say something, they actually want something else. One of the big reasons women dump men is because they become too comfortable and bored. When a man does everything and a woman doesn't need to do anything to help improve the relationship, she becomes bored. The reason for this is that women want a challenge, and they always want a man who requires work to fix. You see, the ideal relationship will involve both partners working hard in order for them to improve the relationship and to prepare for the future. But the key word here is that it takes two people to actually do so, and when only one is doing it, the other doesn't have to focus on this. You'll generally see that men who are in bad shape and often not even great partners hold on to their women much longer due to her firmly believing that she can save him. Eventually, she might realize the futility of this mindset, but she at least has to try. On top of this, the women will pull back and they might even withhold themselves from you as a way of seeing how you react. The problem with many men is they continue chasing and chasing, allowing her to finally realize she's in control. This imbalance of power is what women truly dislike, and it's the reason for many of them walking out. But regardless of the kind of man you are, you're bound to suffer heartbreak at some point in your life. If she's the perfect woman for you, you might not want to let go, which is why you need to take crucial steps to make sure you don't push her away any further. So, if you find yourself in such a situation, stop for a minute and watch this video. We can guarantee that your entire perspective is about to be changed. Number 1, no more attention. The first thing you want to do is have her also feel the pain of losing you. However, this step is not a way for you to make her feel bad. It's only one of the natural side effects that will arise when you follow it. You see, when a woman dumps you, the first days are the most crucial. In fact, these days will naturally set the tone for what's about to come in the rest of the relationship. What you're seeking to do is to protect yourself, and by constantly reaching out, you make yourself seem weak while she's getting the free attention from you. Women thrive on attention, and if she realizes that you still give her all your time even when she doesn't need to be in a committed relationship, she'll relish this and continue to string you along. When you get too close again, she'll simply push you away through various methods, like ghosting you or even being critical. You want to make sure that she understands the consequences of her decision, and now that she's made it, it's both of you that have to endure this. It also creates a lot of space and time for her to think. This is when she might realize she made a mistake. But most importantly, it makes a woman wonder whether you actually ever liked her and why you're not chasing her. This is the way many experienced live rent-free inside the minds of many women. Number 2, take time to digest the relationship. Many influencers will immediately tell you to focus on some form of self-improvement. However, the reality is that self-improvement should have been a part of your daily life even before the relationship came to an end. The first thing you want to do after cutting communication is to digest and truly understand what went wrong. Now, this can be a very painful experience for a lot of men. You'll need to be quiet for a while and think about some of the mistakes you made. Now, the need to reach out and apologize is something you will experience, but you have to resist. The main goal of this is to make yourself realize that you've also made some mistakes, and there are numerous things that you could have done better. Once you have this knowledge, it should give you hope. You see, when you avoid these things in the future, they've become lessons, and you'll notice that your relationships in the future are that much stronger. To do this, you'll need to be clear-minded, and you should be willing to endure some of these realizations you're about to face. It should naturally allow you to make peace with the relationship and that you might be the one who caused it. Number 3, reach out to your support network. One of the most important things every man on this planet should have is a decent support network. When you have a good support network, you are naturally going to have people around you who are willing to assist and ensure that you are not suffering by yourself. The only important thing about this is that your support network should be either family or it should be male friends. You do not want to involve other women in this for 2 reasons. The first reason is that women will see how weak you are reacting to other women dumping you, which automatically reduces your value to them. The second reason is that women focus on the emotional aspects, and you're about to break away from the mindset of being emotional and focusing more on realism. You need people around you who are not afraid of telling you the truth, whether you like it or not. The reason for this is that it's very easy to become somewhat delusional and focus solely on the woman and what you need to do to get her back. Whilst you might seek her back, she should not become the fuel for your motivation, or your motivation will eventually run out of gas. Number 4, start with small steps. After taking some time to digest and talk to those around you, the next important thing is to take small steps to change yourself and become the best version of yourself. Note that we said you should become the best version of yourself and not what someone else expects you to be. Small steps can be things like changing your diet, perhaps waking up earlier, or even spending more time with your friends and family. The goal is to get yourself back into a sense of normality, where you learn to shrug off what's happened and focus more on the future than the past. Essentially, you're seeking ways to make peace with what happened and understand that it's fine and that you still have a bright future ahead of you. You don't need to make those big leaps and changes just yet. You see, psychology has proven on numerous occasions that when you start small, you will slowly gain more confidence. This creates a snowball effect where your confidence is constantly growing, and you become more empowered to make stronger decisions and take bigger steps. Always make sure that you start small, as the last thing you want to be dealing with is repetitive failures. Number 5, it's time to step up. Once you've gained some confidence, you'll be ready to take on bigger and more challenging situations. One of the first things we recommend you do is head to the gym, or at least add some form of fitness to your daily routine. You see, this will not only help bolster your confidence and ensure that you feel much stronger, but it'll naturally help you improve the way you look. Once you become stronger and look better, there'll be a natural market for you. This means that more and more women will slowly start to notice you. The more women notice you, the better you'll feel about yourself, allowing you to push harder. As you can see, it creates a powerful circle where your confidence and body image simply keep on growing and you become much better as a human being. The other 2 things you need to do when you're stepping it up a notch is to make sure you wear stylish clothing that fits you, or even aim to accentuate all your strongest features. This can seem very complicated, but it's one of the most important steps to making yourself look and feel better. Lastly, a good cologne is important, and it'll help others recognize your scent. Make sure you seek something with a wood touch to it, as this tends to feel more masculine, and it also draws women to be more curious. Number 6, focus on your future. Once you've started improving your health and your fitness becomes better, the next important thing would be to look at your finances. You see, financial trouble is one of the leading causes of divorce around the world, and you want to make sure that you don't walk into such a situation. It is absolutely vital that you focus on developing skills and making sure you find a way to improve your financial situation. What you'll find is that it does naturally contribute to your confidence, and you'll also have more security to provide women. Now, you might be wondering when she'll come back to you. Well, she might attempt to reestablish contact at any moment, especially if you're the one who cut contact, and you can walk away without looking back. But when you focus on doing these things, she'll realize that she might have made a mistake, and now you are a more powerful version. In fact, she'll see all the progress you've made, and this is what makes her think that you don't truly care. You see, many women firmly believe that they are the reason for a man being successful. But when you prove her wrong, she becomes the loser in all this. and she'll begin pursuing you. This immediately changes the dynamic of power, and you are the one who's in control. Number 7, surround yourself with great people. One of the biggest problems with men is the people they surround themselves with are going nowhere. You see, the loyalty issue is that you don't need to be loyal when someone else can't uplift you. And when you become the person who's always uplifting others, you're wasting your energy. One of the most attractive things a man can have is when he's surrounded by great people, especially if these people also hold some kind of power of their own. It immediately elevates you to a new level, and you also get to meet better people. Once a woman catches wind that you're moving up in the world, she'll immediately realize that she might have made a massive mistake. And this is one of those things you naturally want to capitalize on. As you can see, the main theme is to have her realize that she made a mistake, and now she needs to be the one to make up for it. Ultimately, she should realize that if she's to be in a relationship with you again, things are going to change. She'll not be the one in control of the relationship, and you're the person who's now calling the shots. This will also allow her to become more feminine, which is far more attractive for men as well. Number 8, go on dates. It's easy to write off the world of dating once you've experienced a bad relationship. Many men enter what they call monk mode and simply retract themselves from the world while focusing on pursuing their purpose. In fact, there's nothing wrong with this, and occasionally all men should take a break. However, you need to eventually get back to the real world, and this involves going on dates with another woman. You need to make sure that you can apply what you've learned and that other women still find you attractive. If you've been following these steps correctly, this should not be a problem, and women will automatically like you. Once you go on dates, you'll get to know more women, which automatically helps you to forget about the one who's dumped you. You'll improve your mood and get to know interesting people. Your ex will eventually catch wind of this, and it's another one of those things that makes her chase you even more. Since women naturally become jealous about things like this, you'll also notice that she's the one coming back. Number 9, don't just accept her with open arms. At some point, you'll have to make a decision. The woman you think is the love of your life will come back, and things in your life will be better than ever. At this point, she will magically reappear, and she'll be apologetic and want back into a life with you. The main problem here is that many men simply just take her back without any questions being asked. This, once again, shows her that no matter what you've done to improve yourself or how badly she treated you, you'll always just accept her back into your life. It's a massive killer of any form of attraction. You need to have a good conversation with her and treat it like a date for the first time. She needs to understand that she also has a responsibility to make sure the relationship does work out this time. Finally, you are now a catch, and for someone to date such a great guy comes at a price. Once she's back, you must keep on doing these things. You see, it's very easy to slide back into your old, pathetic routine if you accomplished your goal, but this will lead you back down the same path. You also need to understand how female body language works to make this even easier. So, check out this next video.